Oh, hi, everybody. Did you miss me? Guess what? I got a very special episode for you today. It's based off one of my favorite shows. You know, I love The Simpsons. So, yeah, tomorrow's Halloween, or whenever you watch it. Perhaps Halloween's passed by now, but oh well, I'm not going to cut it short. I got to bring my top 10 Treehouse of Horror sketches. Woo! They've been doing it for over 35 years. For 35 years now, excuse me. This was their 36th one, I believe, this year, which is insane. Anyways, enough of the chit-chat. We got to go right into it. Number 10 is The Thing and I. You know that one where Bart has an evil twin. That one's so good in my opinion. I got to pull up Frankiac because it's such a good website. And yes, Bart is hearing stuff in the attic. We have 3 kids. Yeah, 3 kids. That was so funny. Yeah, we have 3 kids, Homer. 3 nosy kids. Yep. Yeah, to feed you 4 kids. And then Dr. Hibbert shows up and brings up the story on Hugo, Bart's long-lost evil twin brother. Oh, my goodness. Yes, what happened was when Bart and Hugo were born, Hugo was biting Bart, and yeah, he had a bunch of marks on him. And then Hugo's up in the attic because of how evil he is. It's really scary how evil he is. So there is that. And then Hugo escapes. Hugo somehow escapes. Look at that. Hugo's biting Bart. I'll take the one who's not evil. Or something like that, excuse me. And then Bart gets chained up because of how evil Hugo is. Yes, that was so funny. Yeah, there's baby Bart. Look at that. How nice is that? Homer has hair. But anyways, it's so funny. And of course, who could possibly forget the best part of that sketch? When Dr. Hibbert is there and he's got the mirror. Why, you haven't seen yourself, Hugo. And then he's got the mirror with his face. And then he punches it, Hugo through the mirror and into the face. It's so funny. Except there's one crazy part. It's unbelievably crazy. It turns out Hugo wasn't the evil twin. Bart was, because Hugo had the marks right there and they were mistaken the whole time. So Bart winds up being in the attic at the end. And poor Hugo, after being tormented all these years, is all right now. What else is next? I don't know. I gotta find it. Number 9, Nightmare Cafeteria. Yes, sirree. I love this one. Where Lunch Lady Doris is right there with grade F meat. Oh boy. And then Jimbo spills it on his shirt. Oh no, my favorite outfit. Jimbo, this is by far the worst thing you've ever. And then Principal Skinner, look at him. He realizes that he can make something out of Jimbo, and then he kills Jimbo and eats Jimbo. Yeah, look at that. It's so funny. What else is out there? Oh yes, Ooter. Who could possibly forget Ooter out there? Ooter's so funny because I want another sloppy Jimbo. And then they have Ooter, or then they eat Ooter. I've got a gut feeling that Ooter is inside all of us. After all, isn't there a little bit of Ooter inside all of us anyways? In fact, you might be saying we're eating Ooter right now and he's in our stomachs. Oh my goodness, that was so funny. And then Bart and Lisa run downstairs to Marge and tell her, Mom, Dad, they're eating the kids. And then they eat you go back out there. Marge said or something like that. It's so funny. I can paraphrase it. I'm not good at quoting stuff. But anyways, best part has to be Groundskeeper Willie. I'll save you kids. And then with an axe, Principal Skinner kills him. It's so funny. And then I just love how they're walking back. And Skinner's like, I'll start by, I guess, eating your shorts. And then there's a ledge right here, and then he falls. One of them falls. I think Lisa falls, or Millhouse falls. Yes. And Bart's like, I guess both Simpsons kids will be all right. And then they both fall. And then it turns out it was just a bad dream from Bart. And everything's all right, except for the fog that turns them inside out. As in their skin is inside out. It's so funny. Number 8, Citizen Kang. Why not? That one was really good. Yes, parodying the 1941 classic. In the title, where Kang and Kodos are turning out to replace then presidential candidates Bill Clinton and Bob Dole. And they run for president. Don't blame me, I voted for Kodos. Except Homer's the only one that knows about it. Look at that. Homer's getting taken into outer space. That one was so good. What else happens in that? There's some things that are said in it that I don't want to say because it's kind of controversial. Oh, yes. Senator Dole, why should people vote for you instead of President Clinton? It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed. Doomed. Yes, and of course, Homer finds out. Homer realizes it, and he reveals it to the public that Kang and Kodos are the sisters from the Treehouse of Horror. Those two green aliens are sisters, actually. I don't know if you knew that or whatnot. Homer takes them, and he saves them, and in the end, they make a good point. They make a very, very good point. It's true, we are aliens, but what are you going to do about it? It's a two-party system. You'll have to vote for one of us. He's right. This is a two-party system. Well, I believe I'll vote for a third-party candidate. Go ahead. Throw your vote away. Ah, ha, 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 ha. That one's so good. And don't blame me. I voted for Kodos because Kang wins the election. Number 7, Homer Cubed. Why not Homer Cubed? That one's so good. Patty and Selma are coming over for fun, and Homer decides to hide. He tries the closet, but Bart and Lisa are there. He tries the rug, but the pets are there. I'll take my chances behind this mystery wall. And he goes into the third dimension, and he's trapped there. He's trapped in the third dimension. I forgot they called it. And yeah, behind that bookstore right there, it's so funny. Homer in the third dimension. He's going to take a chance at the mystery wall. Look at that. And then he's stuck there. He doesn't know how to get out. Oi, Granoli. There's Frank Rules back there. All those numbers right there, named after one of the writers on Simpsons. I think his name is John Frank. I must cost a fortune being out here. Oh, yes, and oh, yes, you can suck them out. I love Patty and Selma. And Homer's stuck in there. And for comparison, he gets everybody, and Professor Frink says, Homer has gone into the third dimension. And everybody's wondering what happened. So Homer asks this, and it's very relevant today. Did anyone see the movie Tron? No. Yes? I mean, no. Oh, yeah. That was so funny because Chief Wiggum said no twice and then says yes. And then Bart decides to go in there to save his dad. And Homer throws a cone, which it spikes down and causes a black hole right there. And Bart can't get him, so you'll have to jump. So Homer says, that's easy. And then he jumps, and then he doesn't make it. He goes, crap. And then they hear it, and they're like, and then they hear him yell, crap. Don't worry, Marge. He's in a better place now. And that turns out to be the real world. So funny. Number 6, good ones from the same episode. Attack the 50-foot eyesores. Yes, with the Lard-O-Lad donut. Homer wants a donut from the Lard-O-Lad donut store. He gets ripped off, so he decides to steal that giant donut right there, making the Lard-O-Lad himself really, really unhappy, as you might assume. Oh my goodness. Yes, and then the Lard-O-Lad comes alive. He comes alive, yes, and Homer tries to take the donut. I don't have your donut. Flanders has it. And yes, Flanders does not have it, of course. He just says that as a joke. And then the warlord comes out and then Homer says, I told you Flanders has it. Or Mo. Go kill Mo. Homer, just give him the donut. Yes, that one's so good. Look at that. He takes away the warlord donut and he comes to life and he doesn't like it. And then Homer finally gives the warlord the donut. And then the warlord wreaks mayhem or wreaks havoc out there, As you can tell, he's very unhappy. And eventually all those giant mascots come alive and they take over the town. Yes. And Homer says, aren't you sick of always being wrong? It's so funny. And then Lisa finds out where it comes from, so she goes there. And then, yes, that's the one where he beats up the people with the beer bottle. It's so funny. That one was so funny. And then you see a lot of stuff like 50 million cigarette smokers can't be running off the Zip Boys. They try to escape and their heads go back like that. Oh boy, that one was weird. And then it sounds a lot better coming out of Paul Anka. So they got Paul Anka to sing the song Just Don't Look. Just Don't Look. And everybody doesn't look. And then the mascots just stop doing their thing, stop smashing everything and stuff. And then Homer's looking because he saw that the donut's full of sprinkles now. Dad, if you don't want to poke your eyes out. So they get him away, and eventually the warlord falls, and the donut goes flying. Which brings us to Kane and Kodos, who say, we are newlyweds on our way to Earth Capital. And then the donut just rolls right by him, as they thought was a car. So funny. And then Ken Breichman makes a good point. The next advertisement could show up, and it could kill you. And then it goes to commercial break. Number 5, Clown Without Pity. Ooh, boy, this is a good one. It's Bart's birthday. He got a lot of cool stuff, except for Homer. Homer didn't get anything. Except he gets a doll. It's a doll from an evil store. From Krusty the Clown. It's a talking Krusty doll. Look at that. And then, who do you call it? Grandpa Simpson says, the doll is evil! Evil! Excuse me, I can't do the voice because I have such bad voices, but yeah. It turns out Krusty the Clown doll is alive and it's evil. I'm Krusty the Clown, and I don't like you. Parodying the Twilight Zone episode in Chucky. I'm Krusty the Clown, and I'm going to kill you. And then he starts to beat him up, and yes, it's so funny. It's so funny because then Homer gets him into a dirty sack, and then throws him into a bottomless pit. Except there's just one issue. Krusty comes back! No, Krusty, why would you do that? And yes, it's so funny. Your doll is trying to kill my husband. Yes, I'll hold. And then it turns out there's just one major issue. The doll was on evil mode. So they put him back to normal mode. And Krusty's nice and does a bunch of chores for Homer. How nice is that? How nice is that? Number 4 is one of the best ones, but there are 3 better, of course. Time and punishment. Dad, your hand is jammed in the toaster! Oh! And he goes back in time, steps on says, stupid bug, you go squish now. And the bug goes squish. And then there's the evil Ned Flanders, who's the unquestioned overlord of everything. Yes, he goes back in time. He's the first person to go back in time. Correction, Homer, second. Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Great movie, by the way, that came out about 10 years ago. Love that movie, but enough on that. Look at that. Stupid bug, you go squish now. And then, of course, Ned Flanders is the unquestioned overlord of the universe. Looks like we got ourselves a negative Nelly in section 7. I guess the whole family have to go for some re-education. And Homer runs away and goes back in time again. And then he realizes not to do anything, so he escapes, and then steps down and kills a fish. Oh, I wish I hadn't killed that fish. So funny. And then what happens next is that all of them are giants. They're giants. And
that bug looks like Dad. Let's go squish it.
And Homer escapes. A bunch of other crazy stuff. But the best part has to be when Homer eventually finds the perfect universe. Yes, the Simpsons family is rich. He's like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't bad. And then Lisa says,
Dad, are we taking the Alexis, Aunt Patty, and Selma's funeral?
Well-behaved kids, luxury sedan, dead in-laws. Woohoo! I hit the jackpot. Marge, would you kindly pass me a donut?
Donut? What's a donut?
And then Homer runs away because there are no donuts. He forgets the fact that this is a perfect universe, but it doesn't have his favorite food, so he leaves. And then 2 seconds after he leaves, it rains donuts, and Marge's like,
it's raining again.
It's so funny. And then Homer just does not care. He just beats up everything, smashes a lot of stuff based off the prehistoric times, which causes time to go crazy. And Homer finally gets that perfect universe. Normal universe, I ought to say. Except there's one major issue. Their tongues are like lizards. So they stick out their tongues and eat their food.
Close enough,
Homer says. And that is that. Number 3 is the devil and Homer Simpson. This one's a little disturbing, but also really funny. Homer's out of donuts. What would he do? He'd sell his soul for a donut. So then the devil, who's actually Ned Flanders, shows up. Yes, I owe you one emergency donut. Signed, Homer.
I'd sell my soul for a donut.
That can be arranged.
Flanders, you're the devil?
It's the last person you always expect. And yes, it's so funny. Homer eventually goes down to, that place. where he has the hall of, ironic punishments. Ironic punishments, yes sirree. Where he has all the donuts in the world, and Homer eats the donut except for that part. Because he wanted a donut so bad. Yes, it's so funny. Homer goes down, he eats all the donuts in the world, except he then is in some deep trouble now with Flanders' devil. It's so funny. And then, of course, there's the one part in the episode where he gets a trial. Oh, you Americans and your due process. And, of course, there's the one part in the episode where we see the jury, which consists of people like Richard Nixon. I'm not dead yet. I did a deal for you, Nixon. The worst you can do is come back and do something for me. And of course, the starting lineup of the 1976 Philadelphia Flyers. And Lionel Hutz is there. Lionel Hutz, attorney at law. Great. Lionel Hutz, of course. And then in the end, it turns out that Homer gave his soul to Marge instead of Flanders the devil. So instead of going to, so he already sold his soul to Marge technically and not Flanders devil. So Flanders loses the trial, unfortunately. But Homer's head gets turned into a donut, which is super funny. Really good. Number 2, Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace, a good one. Where it was the 13th hour of the 13th day of the 13th month. Ooh, lousy smart weather. I know, smart. Do not touch Willie. Good advice. Turns it up, and Groundskeeper Willie's playing the bagpipes. And then it catches on fire. Oh, no, he can't get out of the doorknobs because they all reject it. And they reject the fire hydrants. He somehow escapes, but Mr. Van Houten has the 4. I'd like to see the meal plans in advance. I don't like the idea of Millhouse having 2 spaghetti meals a day. And then Groundskeeper Willie says, I will
kill your children.
Oh, yeah? How are you gonna do that?
In their dreams. Such as when, in the beginning, that was in the middle of this segment. But anyways, at the beginning of the segment, what happens is that, groundskeeper was all burned up. Yeah, there's Chief William, as mentioned earlier. Look how concerned that is. But anyways, what happens is Martin is doing a standardized test and goes, done! And then goes to bed like that and then says, Morty! Or whatever, mort stuff as in death. And then groundskeeper says, mort, as in you die. And then he gets grabbed and choked around by groundskeeper. Well, I think it was his tongue. And then he dies by being strangled to death. And it's so funny because they accidentally wheel him out, but then the blanket covering him disappears and they all get scared. Ah! No, towards the kindergarten. Ah! It's so funny.
Mom! Dad! Martin died at school today! I don't know what this has to do with Groundskeeper Lily.
We never said Groundskeeper Lily.
And then he tells them, and then she tells them about the story, which was about March, my favorite month of the year, known for its lousy weather, as you saw a few minutes ago. What else? Yes, Homer, or Bart and Lisa decide to go to bed and decide to kill Krusty, or not Krusty, decide to kill Groundskeeper Willie. And then they kill Groundskeeper Willie, or at least they think they do. And then Bart dreams of Krusty winning the Super Bowl with him. And then Groundskeeper Willie comes back and is bigger than ever.
Oh, don't dream of me again, kid.
And Krusty the Clown escapes. And then Bart and Lisa are both asleep and they're both going to die. Because Groundskeeper Willie's going to kill them. And then Maggie gets him in the back with her pacifier and causes Groundskeeper Willie to explode. And that is the end. And Maggie saves the day. Good for Maggie. Good for Maggie.
I don't know. I think Groundskeeper Lily can come anywhere and kill us when we least expect it.
And now number one, the shinning. What else would it be? Yes, I just love how they're on a trip.
Homer, did you lock the door?
No!
Homer, did you lock the garage door?
No!
Oh no, we forgot Grandpa.
Yes, look, Grandpa's missing. And then there's no TV and no beer. Make Homer go something.
Go crazy?
Don't mind if I do.
And it's so funny. Bart realizes that he can predict everything. And Groundskeeper Lloyd says, you've got the shining.
Shining.
Want to get sued?
And there's Mr. Burns and Smithers at their resort as they're going to have fun. Oh, yes, it's so funny. Grandpa Simpson's missing because they forgot him. But yes, Mr. Burns is right there talking about things. And Homer goes crazy. He really does go crazy. Yes, it's so funny. But the best part is when he's got the axe, swings it, and goes, here's Johnny. Nobody's there. And he goes, no!
David Letterman! Hi, David! I'm Grandpa!
No!
I'm Mike Wallace. I'm Morley Safer. I'm Ed Bradley. Oh, this is an Andy Rooney tonight on 60 Minutes.
Ah! And Homer goes crazy. It's so funny. And then they finally find a frozen TV. And they're safe. They're safe because they finally found a TV.
Urge to kill fading. Gone.
And yeah, in the end, it's easy because they finally escape. And then they're all frozen in the snow. And then it's back to the Tony Awards.
Urge to kill rising.
And that's the end. Yeah, Trails of Four is super funny. If you haven't watched them, I highly suggest that you do. It should be good. It should be fun for you. I would highly recommend them to you. Anyways, that's it for my special for top 10 Trails of Horror segments. I hope you enjoyed it, folks. Till next week, Tommy Maroon, thank you for enjoying this special. Goodbye, everybody.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.